Now I am become Death, the destroyer of worlds. Hello everybody! As you might have guessed, today I have a run with the last of the three box legendaries. Rayquaza in particular is the one for Emerald, so it's quite fitting. While Kyogre was more of a special Pokemon and Groudon a physical one, Rayquaza decided to become a glass cannon, having 150 in both attacking stats. His only weak spot is ice because he is quad weak to it. The rules are the same as always, so let's quickly get over them. I can only use Rayquaza in combat, I can't use any consumables in combat, I can't raise my evasion, and I can't use cheats or glitches. Like for the previous two legendaries, I did not reset for a nature in particular, but just took the first one I got. Unfortunately, it's not a great one, but maybe the extra defense will help in the early game. Rayquaza starts with a Twister, which is not a fantastic move, but since it is special and neutral on most things, I can't complain. May is very easy and goes down with no issues, and something similar can be said for the grunt in the forest. Because of the slow growth rate, me and the Pochiena are at the same level, but thanks to my beastly stats, Twister is almost a one-shot, and I can finish him the next turn. Next is Roxanne, and I was kinda worried about her because this time she is super effective on my dragon. Her first two Geodudes have very low special defense, so I thought they were a one-shot, but it was a range and I'm forced to hit a Rock Tomb. Nosepass is a bit more tough, he leaves a hit and does good damage with Rock Tomb, then I get a lucky crit to take it out. Otherwise, this fight could have ended not in my favor. After managing to get through her with no resets, I saved a fellow flying type and then I took on May again. As usual, I learned Ancient Power at level 15 and used it on Torchic, and then I went straight to Slateport because I completely forgot about Brawly. He likely would not be a problem since I have a special move and resist his attacks. Likewise, the thieving goons are not a problem either. Twister can one-shot all of their Pokémons. Once they are defeated, Archie has to waste our time as usual, and after delivering the sub parts, we got to fight May one more time. This time her team is quite a bit better, but unfortunately for her, Rayquaza just learned Dragon Claw, and even if it is a special move in this generation, that means nothing for Rayquaza, since as I mentioned earlier, he has crazy high attack and special attack. For some reason, I did not use it a lot on May, but Watson is going to feel the full brunt of our assault, since the only thing that can resist it is the Magneton. Everything else dies in one scratch each. The Cherry Berry got consumed by a random static, so I have to finish the match while being paralyzed. But ultimately it does not matter and we can earn the second badge. Next up, we have to stop Maxi as usual from activating a volcano. The main problem of his team is the Intimidate from Mightyena, but Dragon Claw is special, so yeah, he got destroyed. In the meantime, Rayquaza learned Dragon Dance, but like for the past two videos, I'll try to not use it a lot, because he most likely does not need the stat boost. Next, we have to beat the fire gym leader. Different trainer, same strategy. Dragon Claw still does a ton of damage, especially on Flannery's Pokémons, since their special defense is subpar. We also resist fire, so even if they somehow leave a hit, they can't do anything to me. Torkoal eats a few potions, but once she runs out, it goes down too. I then went straight to my dad, but he did not want to fight me. After a few seconds of confusion, I understood the problem and went back to Dewford. As you might expect, Brawly does not stand a chance, so we easily blow up his team, even without using Dragon Claw. After taking care of him, we can finally face our dad. Like for the other two legendaries, his team is easy. Just spam a Dragon Claw and they all go down in one hit each. Except for the slacking. He leaves a hit and does quite a bit of damage with Facade. Thanks to his berry and potions, it takes a few more turns to take out the Sasquatch, but eventually he falls too. It might seem weird, but even if Rayquaza can learn Surf, I decided to not teach it to him. Next is the last forced fight against Melee. Her team might be annoying because of Protect and Fake Out flinches, but it's not very strong. Dragonclaw is still the MVP, so after a couple of hits, we have dealt with her too and can proceed to the next gym fight. Winona uses flying types, so we are kinda evenly matched, except for the fact that I'm using a legendary. Most of her team is not a problem at all. The only thing that leaves is the Skarmory, because she is a steel type, and so it resists the dragon. But she can't do much to me in just a turn, so this gym fight was very easy too. So far, Rayquaza is smashing through everything in our path, but to be fair, we still have to do the harder fights. Molmay is not one of them though. Again, Dragonclaw can't be stopped. She most likely knows it too, because she does not use Protect and just lets me win. After defeating her and grabbing the Magma Emblem, I reached Maxi and Groudon in the depths of some cave, and after he wakes up the legendary, we have to fight him. Like in the previous fight, even if my physical attack is lowered, I don't mind it, because Dragonclaw uses my special attack. So this too is another sweep. Once we defeat him, Maxi runs away, and we have some time to grind before taking on Tate and Liza. The next gym fight is not super easy because it's a 2v1, but we are still a legendary with amazing stats, and we can finally make use of Crunch that we learned way back. I kept holding on to it for this fight and another one later on. While I was taking out their partner, Xatu used a couple of Calm Minds, but he never ended up using Psychic, so I'll take it, I guess. After getting the penultimate badge, we have to help Steven deal with Maxi. This double fight is a lot simpler than Tate and Liza, mostly because their Pokémons are a lot less threatening, and we also have a partner Pokémon. The only thing that could be a problem is Rock Slide from the Cameroops, but they never used it, so one less thing to worry about. Fortunately, Crobat confuses Metang instead of Rayquaza, so I can finish him the next turn and turn the fight into a 2v1. The remaining Camerupt has a few boosts, so it's not easy to kill, but eventually we can defeat him and the last two Pokémons to scare away Team Magma. Once we defused the situation, Steven shows his appreciation by giving us the Dive HM, so we can reach Archie just before he can wake up the next legendary. His team is very similar to Maxi, and so the results are more or less the same too, aka just another Dragon Claw sweep. Well, mostly. I misclicked, so things were not as easy as I'm making them out to be, but still nothing to worry about. After the red orb activates and wakes up Kyogre, we have to go wake up Rayquaza, which is useless since I have been using it the whole time. While the cutscene plays, you can take a second to leave a like and maybe press the subscribe button. That would surely help Rayquaza in his quest. The fight against Juan is not too bad, but some of his Pokémon have ice moves that will hurt if they have the chance to attack me. Thankfully, Dragonclaw is still too strong and allows me to take care of his Pokémon with no issues. I guess we'll have to wait a bit longer to get a challenging fight, because next we have to enter the Victory Road and defeat Wally. While I like his character and team, this does not mean that I will hold back, and unfortunately for him, only his Magneton is able to resist my Dragon moves. Smartly, he tries to confuse me, but misses Supersonic, so that's the end of the fight, because I'm able to take out all the remaining members of his team without taking any damage. After I took out his ace Gardevoir, I got out of Victory Road and used the rare candies, as well as teaching Thunderbolt to Rayquaza. The first member, as usual, is Sidney, and like for the evil team leader's fights, I ignored the Intimidate by using Dragonclaw. While using the candies, Ray tried to learn Outrage, but even if it has slightly higher base power, I don't think it's worth because of the confusion. The second member is Pheobe, and as usual, the main problem in this fight is her lead, because if it uses Curse, you are screwed and can't win the fight. Thankfully, I still have Crunch, so this fight too was not a problem. Sableye surprisingly leaves a hit, but only does a little damage to me. After it goes down too, I have to take on the next member. And this time I am actually worried. Glacia, as her name suggests, is the mistress of ice, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, that's Rayquaza's weakness. But if she does not get to use ice moves, I don't have to worry about them. And with that, I mean that I'm going to one-shot all of her Pokémon. Both Glalis get exploded by Dragonclaw, and for the more thick Celio and Walrein, I can use the newly taught Thunderbolt to score a super effective hit. The last Elite Four member is Drake, and while I am weak to his dragon moves, he is too to mine. So yeah, this is another Dragonclaw sweep. Even if my nature lowers my speed, thanks to the extra levels, I am still faster than his Pokémon, and so this is actually one of the easiest fights in the league. Last but not least is the champion, and here is where Rayquaza proves its superiority on the other two legendaries, because unlike them, I don't have to reset against Wallace. Thunderbolt does slightly more damage on his team, so I'm going to be using that a lot. Milotic leaves and fires back an Ice Beam. Ouch, that does a ton of damage, and brings me to yellow HP. But then she dies, so if I don't eat another hit like that, I should be fine. For his last two Pokémons, I switched to Dragonclaw since it is more effective, and they both go down without putting up a fight. So with that, we ended the game without having to reset even a single time. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like and remember to subscribe as well as ring the bell. Also share the video with a friend and leave a comment if you have any questions or feedback. See you next week and the last day of the year. Bye!